Imagine being so terrified of justice that you'd try to get a pardon before charges are even filed. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Sources report that Bill Clinton is working behind the scenes with the Biden administration to secure a preemptive pardon for crooked Hillary. Now, why would a person who, in Bill Zone's words on The View, didn't do anything wrong, needed a pardon? Well, the answer becomes clear when he realized we're just 40 days until Donald Trump's return to the White House, and the desperation is palpable, and the timing is no coincidence. While the Clintons are feeling the heat from Trump's impending return, millions of Americans are struggling with actual heat, or rather the cost of it. These skyrocketing winter heating bills are hitting harder than a congressional subpoena, but unlike the Clintons, you don't need political connections to stay warm. This incredible portable heater has become my secret weapon against crushing energy costs. Heats any room in minutes using a fraction of the energy of traditional heating. Do yourself a favor and grab one today for up to 60% off at staywarmnow.com. Don't let corrupt energy policies freeze you out. Take control today. Okay, so the big news today. It is being reported that Bill Clinton is working on a pardon for his wife, Hillary Clinton, after the Daily Mail claims that Bill might talk to Biden about preemptive pardon for Hillary so President-elect Trump can't send her to jail. This comes after Clinton went on The View to claim he wasn't looking for a pardon. My, how things have changed fast. Oh, and we've even got Adam Schiff reacting to the idea of a pardon. Let's get into real quick what was said on The View today. Here we go.
Trump will be returning. Mr. President, Donald Trump will be returning to the White House, unburdened by the pressure of re-election, with sweeping immunity granted to him, I believe, by the Supreme Court, and an alleged enemies list we're hearing. Do you think it would be wise of President Biden to preemptively pardon any potential targets? What about your wife, Hillary Clinton? She apparently is on Kash Patel's list.
For what?
Yeah.
Well, they got a problem with her because first, she didn't do anything wrong.
Of course.
Second, she followed the rules exactly as they were written. Mm-hmm. Third, Trump's State Department found, they remember how the emails were such a big issue in 2016? Yeah. Trump's State Department found that Hillary sent and received exactly 0 classified emails on her personal device. It was a made-up, phony story.
Yeah.
So, I guess if Kash Patel is determined to make one up, he could do it. But I think if President Biden wanted to talk to me about that, I would talk to him about it. But I don't think I should be giving public advice on the pardon power. I think it's a very personal thing. But it is, I hope he won't do that.
Yeah.
Trump, most of us get out of this world ahead of where we'd get if all we got was simple justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's normally a fool's errand to spend a lot of time trying to get even.
Yeah, agreed. But if he pardons them, that sort of implies that they did something wrong, which they didn't.
Mr. President, Donald Trump.
I find it wild, first of all, that he's there on The View, given his track record with women. And they're just fawning over him like they always do on The View. But, maybe he should be seeking a pardon, right? Because if Kash Patel releases a certain list from somebody who didn't do something, and maybe he's implicated in going to a certain island and participating in certain, cross-state adventures, then maybe there is a reason for him to get a pardon, right? No one's talking about that, right? Oh, boy. So here we have, this was actually 6 days ago. We'll get to that in a second here, but let's go to Adam Schiff. This is funny. 2 days ago, Adam Schiff is declining a pardon from Biden, saying it's unnecessary and unwise. I don't think it's a good idea. And Sarah Rose says, well, it means that he's actually going to be getting a pardon.
Administration. I don't think it's a good idea, and I would urge the president not to do that. First of all, I think it's unnecessary, but I also think it's unwise. I don't want to see a precedent where you start to have presidents on the eve of leaving office issuing blanket pardons to people of their own party or of their own administration. That, I think, would tend to encourage people to feel they're not beholden to the law because the outgoing president will give them a prospective pardon. So I think it's unwise policy, and I would urge the president not to go down that road.
Yeah, you need a pardon too, buddy. You definitely. Mike Davis reacting to Democrat pressure on Biden to pardon illegal immigrants. Did you hear about this? This is news to me. I didn't know. Could you imagine if Joe Biden just gave a blanket pardon to millions of illegals who broke federal law coming into this country? Let's hear what Mike Davis has to say.
Or parole or commute the sentences or whatever for all 15 million that came in on his watch. Is that doable? That's going to shove us into a constitutional crisis, is it not, sir?
Yeah, I mean, he may be able to mass pardon for the criminal elements of being in the United States as an illegal immigrant, but I don't think you can pardon for the civil immigration enforcement, meaning President Trump may not be able to prosecute the illegal immigrants if they've come into our country illegally after a Biden mass pardon, but the president can certainly deport them under our civil immigration laws, and that's what President Trump. Look, if Joe Biden actually follows through and mass pardons these over 10 million illegal immigrants, including violent migrants, including illegal immigrants from vicious Venezuelan gangs who are raping, robbing, murdering Americans, I guess he wants. They are pouring gasoline on themselves in the Democrat Party and lighting the match. They're going to destroy their party for decades if they do this.
Wow. That's the first time I've heard about this. Here we go. The researcher, anyone that Biden issues a pardon to in relation to Trump should be treated as a criminal suspect. Project Accountability 2025 should then commence on day one, starting with the prosecution of everyone given a pardon. Wow. Anyone Biden issues a pardon to in relation to Trump should be treated as a criminal suspect? Let's hear what they're saying over there on MSNBC. This video will probably get more views than they do.
Versus January. So, Jonathan, as we consider...
Okay, so this is the guy, I believe, that actually wrote the Politico piece that set this whole pardon discussion into motion, with talk of Schiff and Milley and Fauci all getting pardons.
Let's talk about your latest piece for Politico titled Biden White House is discussing preemptive pardons for those in Trump's crosshairs. In it, you write this, quote, President Joe Biden's senior aides are conducting a vigorous internal debate over whether to issue preemptive pardons to a range of current and former public officials who could be targeted with President-elect Donald Trump's return to the White House. It's according to senior Democrats familiar with the discussions. The deliberations touch on pardoning those currently in office, elected and appointed, as well as former officials who've angered Trump and his loyalists. Those who could face exposure include such members of Congress's January 6th committee as Senator-elect Adam Schiff and former GOP Representative Liz Cheney. Also mentioned by Biden's aides for a pardon, Anthony Fauci, former head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, who became a lightning rod for criticism from the right during the COVID-19 pandemic. The president himself, Jonathan, continues, who was intensely focused on his son's pardon, has not been brought into the broader pardon discussions yet, according to people familiar with deliberations. So, Jonathan, what does this look like? What are you pardoning Anthony Fauci for? What are you pardoning Liz Cheney for, who've not been charged or convicted of crimes?
That goes to the heart of this deliberation, Willie, and why this is so delicate, because the White House counsel and a handful of senior White House aides, including Jeff Zients, the chief of staff, are having this debate right now in the West Wing, which is do we leave these folks out in the cold and potentially expose them to Kash Patel's FBI and Donald Trump's White House for any number of charges or some kind of a, show trial to get a measure of revenge and at the very least make them pay six figures in legal bills to avoid such a case? Or do we offer preemptively pardons to people who there's no proof they've done anything wrong whatsoever and really may not want a pardon in the first place? That's a real tough call, because if you don't do it and Patel and company come after some of these people and you had the chance to give them inoculation legally, that's a hell of a thing to regret. At the same time, do you want to pardon somebody like Liz Cheney or Anthony Fauci and suggest any kind of impropriety that could only add fuel to the Trump aggressors in the first place? It's a real tough nut.
So, J. Mart, you've been at this for a very long time, covering national politics for a very long time, and you've done it very well.
Thank you.
Did you ever think that we would be living through an era where we would be talking about pardons, preemptive pardons for people like Dr. Fauci or for people like Liz Cheney as part of the political process that we've been living under for the last 8 years? It's unimaginable.
It's completely shocking to even write this. The idea of offering people who have not been charged with any crime, there's no even hint of committing any crimes, pardons, because the nature of the incoming administration is such that they're pretty open about the idea of pursuing a kind of third world model of when we come in, we go after the old guys. Now, I can hear what the Trump folks are going to say immediately, which is he's only doing what they did to us. And I think, guys, that's what you'll hear next year if the Trump folks do pursue these revenge investigations or indictments of they started lawfare first. They indicted Trump left and right. We're only keeping the same thing going. And you can see it easily right now. And guys, that's why this debate is so serious in the White House and why they're taking this, I think, with some measure of sobriety, even though it is an extraordinary precedent to set.
Extraordinary precedent to set. Just like Adam Kinzinger, he definitely deserves to get a pardon too for his participation in the January 6th committee. Yeah, he's now of course I joke here, but he's now a brand ambassador for Huggies Pull-Ups, the congressional edition, designed to protect from night terrors. Yeah. That is Adam Kinzinger. Here we go. Steve Gruber. After Joe Biden pardoned Hunter, Donald Trump needs to pardon all J6 political prisoners on day one. And he has said that. Does the pardon given by Joe to Hunter include the J6 hostages who have now been in prison for years, an abuse and a miscarriage of justice? Here's one that
Free those. Donald Trump says there are three things he's going to do on day one if he is reelected. First, close the border. Second, drill, baby, drill. And third, free those convicted of January 6 crimes, or as he's called them in a post on social media, January 6 hostages being wrongfully imprisoned. He's flirted with releasing some in the past in speeches and in interviews, but this is the first time that I can recall, at least, that he said all of them and that he'd do it on day one.
Sounds good to me. Pardon them all. Let them all free. Destiny. This is an interesting video. Joe Biden intend to pardon individuals. I don't understand how you can pardon someone that hasn't been charged with anything. Please watch and repost. Let's listen to what Destiny has to say.
He'd be offering. So according to White House sources, Biden is planning on offering a blanket pardon to Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, and Anthony Fauci. Now, ask yourself, why would he be offering these blanket pardons for people that haven't even been charged with a crime yet? See, they're using the excuse of Trump appointee of Kash Patel. Oh, he's going to do a political witch hunt on us. But you haven't even been charged with a crime. So how do you know that that is the place? Unless you are implicating yourself that you actually committed a crime. If y'all don't see what's going on by now here, the Democratic Party is absolutely corrupt. And they are hiding behind the fact of Trump coming into the White House to cover up their corruption. That's what they're doing. I mean, who are we going to hear next? Pelosi, Obama, Hillary? Are they going to be offering blanket pardons for them as well? If they do, then...
In fact, okay, so this was published about 6 days ago, and now there's talk of Hillary getting a pardon. And she called it.
Know what's up. You already know. But somehow, the mainstream media, they would get into your little brains and twist it up and justify what Biden is doing and blame it on Trump. Even though when Biden was in office, they literally went after Trump for 4 freaking years. And anybody he associated with and his supporters. That's what they did. They literally did a political witch hunt and a political persecution against Trump. And Trump showed up to the courts. He paid lawyer fees. He did appeals. He was really out here fighting. They were trying to take this man's business just for it to be where they were wrong. They were wrong about going after Trump. These cases didn't go away because he's a white man. No, the cases were dismissed in the appeal because there was no evidence of what they were trying to fit the crime for. That's why. But y'all would sit up here and let them get away. Y'all celebrating all of these black judges, black women judges, even though these black women judges be locking up black men left and right. That's how they take a stepping stone in their career. You can ask Kamala Harris about that. You can ask Fannie Willis about that. Wow. So that's what they do. They go after black men. But y'all out here celebrating Biden passing out all of these blanket pardons, and y'all not even looking deeper into the details of why. So according...
Wow, that was profound. She is on point for sure. Here is 14 hours ago. This was just published by Judicial Watch. Joe Biden pardoned Hunter Biden because Hunter's crimes would implicate Joe. Let's listen to Tom Fitton.
These crimes... No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he's my son, and that is wrong. No, he was protected. These crimes are only a subset of the greater crimes he was involved in. They purposely waited for key tax violations, the statute of limitations to pass. They didn't investigate the FARA cases. They didn't prosecute the FARA issue, which is the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which was used like a cudgel for the first time in history against Trump's people. They didn't apply it to Hunter, even though it was clearly he was working on behalf of foreign agents, foreign governments, which of course would again implicate Joe. So falsehood after falsehood.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with now. Okay. Okay, so we have this. Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter is very unpopular. A majority, 51% oppose, while 21% support, according to AP. 38% of Democrats approve, with 12% of independents. Wow. So still, a majority, 51%, disapprove of the pardon. Oh, so here we have. Okay, let's take. We'll play this clip from Hillary in a minute here. Okay, this is good stuff. You want to talk about Hillary's crimes? We'll talk about Hillary's crimes in a minute. You guys know about her crimes, but John Fetterman, this guy, I don't know what's up with this guy, but he's spitting some truth these days, and Democrats better start listening. John Fetterman is now on Truth Social. Fetterman has joined Truth Social, calling for a Trump pardon, saying the hush money trial where Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers was BS. And he posted this. This was his post. Yeah, it was both the Hunter Biden, Trump hush money and Hunter Biden cases, both BS. Pardons are appropriate. Weaponizing the judiciary for blatant partisan gain diminishes the collective faith in our institutions and sows further division. He said something similar like that. We brought it up the other day. He said it on The View, but now he's on Truth Social, of all places. How wild, right? Never thought I'd see the day. And then this is interesting too. Ryan Wesley Routh, the man who attempted to assassinate President Trump, will be pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. And we are not sure if Biden is going to be pardoning him. Yeah. So he's pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. Yeah, whatever happened to crooks? John Peter McGuire reports 2 in 10 Americans approve of Biden's pardon of his son, Hunter. That's according to an AP NORC poll that was published 6 hours ago. Fetterman is breaking ranks, calling Trump's case BS, demands pardon, shows rare honesty in politics by joining Truth Social to speak directly to Trump supporters. How wild is that? So let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we?
Now in the possession. There have been questions about my emails. When I got to work as Secretary of State, I opted for convenience to use my personal email account.
I'm here to give you an update on the FBI's investigation of Secretary Clinton's use of a personal email system during her time as Secretary of State.
You know, I used a single account for convenience.
And she also used numerous mobile devices to send and to read email on that personal domain.
The server contains personal communications.
Secretary Clinton used several different servers.
I have absolute confidence that everything that could be in any way connected to work is now in the possession of the State Department.
The FBI also discovered several thousand work-related emails that were not among the group of 30,000 emails returned by Secretary Clinton.
You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something?
I don't know.
They can do whatever they want to with the server to figure out what's there or what's not there.
With respect to the thousands of emails we found that were not among those produced to the State Department.
But we turned over everything that was work-related, every single thing.
Agencies have concluded that 3 of those were classified at the time they were sent.
I did not send classified material, and I did not receive any material that was marked or designated classified.
110 emails in 52 email chains have been determined by the owning agency to contain classified information at the time they were sent or received.
Facts are pretty clear. I did not send nor receive anything.
Those chains contained information that was top secret at the time they were sent.
Nothing I sent was marked classified or that I received was marked classified.
36 of those chains contained secret information at the time.
There was.
You know what's so funny as we watch this? You just saw Bill Clinton on The View saying she didn't do any of that and saying it was Trump's State Department that cleared Hillary Clinton. But Comey is clearly declaring that she did. I mean, talk about lying to the public.
Never any material marked classified that was sent or received by me.
7 email chains concern matters that were classified at the top secret special access program at the time they were sent and received.
I will reiterate, because it's a fact, nothing I sent or received was marked classified.
We also found information that was properly classified as secret by the U.S. intelligence community at the time it was discussed on email.
I always took classified material seriously.
It's also likely that there are other work-related emails that they did not produce to state and that we did not find elsewhere and that are now gone.
Under the law, that decision is made by the official. I was the official. I made those decisions.
So say it with me, folks. Lock her up. Right? It's about time. I mean, she does look pretty good in orange, right? Where's that picture of her in the orange? Where is it? There. Yeah. Get used to wearing that orange, Hillary. But the fact that you've got Bill Clinton himself.
Unburdened by the pressure.
State Department found, they remember how the emails were such a big issue in 2016? Trump's State Department found that Hillary sent and received exactly 0.
Okay. You just heard Comey. And now you hear Bill. And now we're finding out that he's in the process of trying to secure a pardon. Being reported, Bill Clinton's working on a pardon for his wife, Hillary. After Daily Mail claims Bill might talk to Biden about preemptive pardon, so Trump can't send her to jail. Wow. If you haven't joined our new membership community, get special recognition in the comments and access to exclusive content. Join the Next News membership family today. It's linked down below, little join button down there. Now, the Clinton machine's desperate moves tell us everything we need to know about what's coming. While Bill claims Hillary's email scandal was a made-up phony story, their actions speak louder than words. A preemptive pardon would be unprecedented, but then again, so is the level of panic we're witnessing. So here's the question that should be on everyone's mind. What exactly are the Clintons so afraid of that'll be uncovered when Trump returns to power? Share your theories in the comments below. And while the establishment scrambles, stand firm with our new MAGAvengers collection. These bold designs at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com let everyone know you haven't forgotten about those emails, Benghazi, or the Clinton Foundation. Wear the truth that they can't pardon away.